All right, good evening. Welcome to Select News tonight. My name is Elijah Tuyagmano, and those of you joining us through our digital platforms, you're doing a tremendous job. But also those of you that are watching us through our mainstream media platforms, it's a tremendous job that you're doing. Those that are on mainstream media, you can join us on our digital platforms, comment and engage with us, ask those questions that you think are pressing. And Ace TV, Select News particularly, needs to pay attention to. Well, I come to you with select news and current affairs and everything that is happening that you need to know in the news arena. But before we go into the details, we take a look at the headlines. Top on Select News tonight. Tear gas bullets rock Eastern region as Bobi Wine traverses nation for votes. And a major service delivery hindrance. Museveni breaks silence on tribalism as he takes presidential campaigns to Gulu. In more news, the sorry state of public roads in northern Uganda curtailing campaigns, the Blue Camp cries out. And in the world of sports, 1-0, Uganda loses out to South Sudan in AFCON as Egypt gets bid to qualify for AFCON 2021. I welcome you once again to Select News, the 16th day of the month of November, the year 2020. You're doing a great job to be watching Select News tonight. I'll delve into the details of tonight and what I came to unpack for you on Select News tonight. The National Resistance Movement Party flag bearer and presidential candidate, that's Yoweri Tibahaburwa Kaguta Museveni, has this afternoon campaigned in Gulu district, where he spoke against tribalism and discrimination. Museveni, who is currently campaigning in the northern parts of the country, continued to maintain the COVID-19 SOPs by only maintaining the 200 National Resistance Movement delegates.
This morning, supporters of the National Resistance Movement and presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni took the streets of Gulu city to cheer and jubilate as they waited for the arrival of the NRM flag bearer to arrive in the city, where he was scheduled to meet with leaders from Gulu, Nwoya and Omoro districts. Museveni's supporters moved around the streets of Gulu city, rejoicing in a somewhat controlled manner due to the COVID-19 pandemic, whilst others chose to ignore the COVID-19 regulations that call for social distancing to camp outside the venue of the president's meeting just so they can have a glance at him. At about 3 a.m., the president made his way to the venue of the meeting to speak to the leaders from the Acholi sub-region and ask them for their support. In his speech today, the president spoke of the need to unite the country by fighting against segregation.
The first problem of stability here was the problem of yin-nga.
Permadit ma achel ma wero government no petwer chung ni rit me dor lwak me le Uganda ene pero me aranga.
Governance based on identity. So if the problems of the people are the same, why do you fragment them into these yin-nga groups? Why don't you put them together so that they solve their common problems?
While speaking to the people of Acholi, the Prime Minister of Uganda, Dr. Uganda, who was also in attendance, urged the people of northern Uganda to vote for President Museveni since he played a role in ushering in peace and fighting the Joseph Kony insurgency.
I am one of the witnesses like you who have seen things move from chaos to stability, who have seen people in agony to now people in peace and looking at the future with a lot of prospects.
Minister of Disaster Preparedness Hilary Onek, who also hails from northern Uganda, commended the president and NRM for bringing development to northern Uganda, especially Gulu city.
We have many projects still on the way. Roads are going to be constructed. Industries are going to be developed here.
Acholi, we've been winning in most of the parts of Acholi. Yes, but Gulu, because of the concentration of the negative forces in Gulu, and then with the resettlement pattern of people, we believe that we are going to win Gulu.
Acholi sub-region is one of the few regions here in Uganda that was faced with a lot of war and also loss of life and property. For President Yoweri Museveni, meeting the people here, it's a sign of hope, as he says that he is ready to usher in peace for another term. Suhail Mugabe, STV Select News.
Well, thank you, Suhail Mugabe, for that report coming to us live all the way from Gulu district. Well, we do understand that northern Uganda does actually remain the hotspot for presidential campaigns. The fact that the incumbent president and flag bearer for the National Resistance Movement Party, that's the yellow camp, Yoweri Museveni, is in Gulu district, but also we do understand that the blue camp maintains also in northern Uganda. Just a slight movement of the red camp that did move to the eastern part of the country, where we did witness a fracas and a face-off between police and NUP supporters. Well, we shall be moving on as we do. Moving on from that report, as we do still move cautiously with the yellow camp and what is transpiring in this campaign season. While in campaign season, some of the members of the National Resistance Movement Party have come out to campaign for their presidential hopeful Yoweri Museveni. Under the presidential initiative, a campaign scheme has been unveiled to garner votes for their party flag bearer ahead of the 14th day of the month of January 2021, when the vote shall be cast.
A section of members belonging to National Resistance Movement under the Presidential Initiative on Girl and Boy Child, established under the objective of empowering the boy and girl child. Today the union launched preparations and a detailed roadmap to campaign for their presidential candidate Yoweri Museveni, the incumbent president seeking a 6th term in office. In his speech, Hilary Chisanja, who led this campaign, he was vented out to request to people to vote for Museveni as the president of the Republic of Uganda, considering he is the most fit of the 11th candidates.
The president, without him coming for rallies, but to show support and love for our patriotic president, for our father of the nation, and we are assuring you it's time for the president to win Kampala by 90%, to win Wachiso by 90%, to win Uganda by 90%.
These have scoffed at any competition, hoping to out Museveni off the top seat while rejoicing in show-off of what their president has done for them and what he is yet to accomplish.
Kick loop out of Kampala. Banyabo ne basebo tubakakasa ne loop tegenda funa wadde kalulu kumutwa mukutona mwami Museveni mukulu sali muhuru meya lagadi kulonda basi yokka era twagala bakakasa ekyo bebe kuchagenda tamuza musayirete majority mukambata muri sayirete majority tuli visible majority kubanga obwagizi bwe buli wano mu Kampala era abantu muzeyi bakyamwagala.
Story by Edith Nabagalika, STV Select News.
Now, the bad state of roads in Kole village, Lango sub-region and other parts of northern Uganda have made it difficult for FDC's presidential flag bearer, Amuriat Oboy Patrick, to access some villages. Due to impassable roads, Oboy was not able to timely touch base his campaign venues, hence affecting his campaign trails. We'll take a look.
Patrick Oboy Amuriat, who was scheduled to move to Oyam this morning, failed to do so in time after the bad roads made it impossible.
Now look at this.
Cars got stuck and were pushed for the journey to proceed.
Yeah, you need to be pushing. That's the move it. Those of Ayub and the other guys, you come and help the
You guys who are putting on shoes.
Yes.
Honorable, why are you part of the team that is pushing the car?
Well, I have got to increase the capacity of the team so that we get this car quite heavy to get it out of this.
Residents in this area say they have approached their leaders, but nothing has been done in that context.
We have done that, all those things. But as the district chairperson, as the leaders of the district, they didn't react something about what we have done.
Amoriat looked disappointed at the state of affairs, said something needs to be done.
This is a horrible experience. The roads are impassable. We have had to keep pushing the vehicles everywhere we go. And I think this will be my government emphasis when we come to power. Get the federal roads fixed, get the produce out of the villages to the market, get our rural population to access services so that they may not die due to common diseases in the villages because they can't get to the hospital.
The FDC campaign convoy opted to leave out Oyam and head direct to the Acholi region, where they started with Padel. Shamira Nagawa, who is on ground, has given a detailed report on the bad roads in the remote areas in eastern, northern and some other parts of the country. She advises that it would be wise for any candidate to familiarize with the terrible roads before they embark on their campaign trails. Husna Afet, Shamira Nagawa, Select News.
Well, we started with the yellow camp. Now we do move on to the blue camp. And of course, as we move on to our next story, which comes from the green camp, that is the Democratic Party. As the election heat intensified, the Democratic Party DP members in Wakiso district have launched campaigns starting from the areas of Nansana to campaign for the presidency. The campaigns are geared at garnering votes for the green camp's Norbert Mao. We have more.
Members of the Democratic Party in Wakiso district have expressed determination to leave no stone unturned in the search for support from Ugandans ahead of 2021 January.
Abantu b'Nansana bo bamanyi abantu abakozi era nze nkakasa ne ssekakasa yenna DP egenda okuwangula omukulembeze w'Nansana municipality wamu ne Nansana division era abantu abali ebala tusaba muntu wesige kubanga ffe tubasajja bakozi ate era nga moto waffe wegamba amazima n'obwenkanya Engineer Lawrence Kibirige meya wa Nansana municipality addako okulonda ne kuba kwankya olwaliro kye tuliko tuli mu kuyongera okuwolaga ensi yonna nti DP ky'ekibiina wano eky'amaanyi eky'abantu era ekirina obuwagizi obw'amaanyi obutatuulako kubanga abantu badde balowooza tusanga DP twaggwawo naye weetuli.
These are solid sure that they will win the vote come 14th January when Ugandans are set to deliver a verdict through a free and fair election. They started their campaign trail in Nansana municipality and plan to campaign all round the whole of Wakiso district. These pledged to solve problems ranging from bad roads, the broken public health system, unemployment and many others.
Wakiso ey'emirimu egirabwako Nansana ng'etemagana Nansana ekyuse Nansana empya Nansana ennungi era eyagaza omuntu ng'ebyobulamu mwebiri nga n'emirimu kirabwako era nga kikwatibwako. Nze muwandiisi wa DP wa Nansana municipality ate nga yenze kandidate wa DP mu ggombolola y'e Nabweru ku magombolola agamu agakola Nansana municipality. Ezimu ku nsonga ezituleese kwe kula nti DP tujjawo essuula y'abakulembeze be balonda ne batadda okukola amakubo n'okugyawo embeera y'abantu okunywa mu mazzi ate nga n'embwa mwe zizannyira.
DP chairperson Wakiso district Dr. Kaziwe Robert threw colour on the Democratic Party as the party that can deliver services and development to the local persons.
myaka 3 ga myaka 3 endala za myaka 17 naye kino kyekibiina ekikulu eky'obugondeevu mu ggwanga wano ate nga kikulembeza demokrasi mu maaso tokulaba nti byebiza kukola bya njawulo kuba tulina obumanyirivu okumala.
Okwawukanako n'ebibiina by'obufuzi ebirala bo bannaddipi beeteefuteefu kukolaganira awamu n'omubaka Robert Kyagulanyi mu kalulu kano akakubye koodi.
Kitwagala okutegeeza eggwanga nti ffe nga DP tuli mabega wa Honorable Kyagulanyi Ssentamu abanaasana municipality.
Ramla Katumba, Netini Rukabwe.
Well, thank you very much for sticking with us. We do move on to the raid camp. Yes, it is a battle of colors. We do understand that with the blue camp, we start with the yellow camp, moving on to the blue camp and the green camp. And now we do move on to the raid camp of the 11 presidential candidates, and they all have different colors that do represent them, beating the number of colors in the rainbow spectrum. Those are 7 colors. There, each candidate has a color that represents them. We do move on to the raid camp straight away. The National Unity Platform NUP Party presidential candidate Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert has today addressed the people of Mayuge, Bujiri district and Uganda amidst live bullets and tear gas from police and the army to disperse the crowds. It was running battles as the raid camp presidential candidate traversed the eastern region of the country for support on his 8th day of campaigns.
President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu has today addressed the people of Mayuge, Bujiri, Uganda amidst live bullets and tear gas, which was used by police to disperse the large crowds that had gathered to see Robert Kyagulanyi, the NUP flag bearer. Kyagulanyi, while addressing the masses, talked about Busoga region's history of being an industrial town and promised to revamp it to its old glory.
Busoga yali biggest industrial town si mu Uganda mwokka naye mu East Africa. Naye kuba Museveni bwe yawamba ensi yaffe abaana ba Busoga yabafuula abasireevu. Nkidamu nti kuba Museveni bwe yawamba ensi yaffe abaana ba Busoga yabafuula abasireevu. Ensonga lwaki wane Busoga tulima ebikando aye ebikando tetubinako buyinza. Omwamba otya nti ogenda kulima ebikajjo naye nga gombe tebiguza yasalawo ebbeeyi gy'obigula. Omwamba otya nti ogenda kulima ebikajjo naye ate nga n'okubitunda balina okuwa layisinsi. Kati ekyo kitegeeza nti buno obwavu buli politiko. Njagala okubasuubiza nti bwe nabeera pulezidenti Busoga will be for the Basoga.
He also condemned the act of giving licenses to sugarcane traders, saying that it rips them of their right and promised to change that when he becomes leader. He praises the Busoga region for having some of the best schools countrywide.
The National Unity Platform government empya egenda okuddako. They have refused to keep the law. They want you to be violent. I'm telling you, we are non-violent. Yes. Do not be violent. Yes. Do not fight with them. Yes. That Abraham Asimwe, the son of Rutabahigwa, yes, and a son of Eric Rutabahigwa, and that man called Wezi, and he said, that man called Muhanji, they are breaking the law. Let us all turn back and go to Mali. They want to waste our time. The world is watching. We are going to go back.
Among the issues Kyagulanyi said he would address are poor health care, poverty and land grabbing. He urged Ugandans to manifest their support towards him by voting on the polling day. Carol Tumwine for Select News.
Thank you very much, our reporter, for bringing us that story now, that coming in from the raid camp. That's NUP, where it was running battle as well. We did witness tear gas and live bullets rocking the eastern region as Kyagulanyi Ssentamu Robert traverses for votes in that area, that particular region, the eastern region of Uganda, in the districts of Mayuge, Bujiri and Iganga district. Well, we do expect him to be moving to other regions as he does move on. Today was his 8th day, and of course each presidential candidate's 8th day of campaigns, and we do expect them to be moving in different places. 2 of them are in the northern, and Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu is still in the eastern region, but also, and that is Muntu Greg, he's still in the western region, traversing that particular region, and we do expect him to be switching positions to other regions of the country to canvass for votes from the people of Uganda ahead of the 14th day of January 2021, where Ugandans will deliver a verdict on who should be president of Uganda. You can rely on us as we do bring you different campaign processions and how the environment is in the presidential campaigns from all different camps, and that does speak volumes to STV's delivery and broadcast of current affairs and elections in terms of professionalism and objectivity in broadcasts. Thank you very much, and of course at this particular juncture allow me to take us for a break, and I'll be back with more.
Watching STV, select for fun.
Abalamuzi babagamba, if the incumbent president frustrates all democratic means to leave power, temusibayo muntu n'omu kutwiza. This is why Besigye is released. Museveni ekibi kyalina talina mawulire. Nawandika n'ekitabo kyange, the role of which could have been in malicious society, sapule enjijjamu.
Noyingire sabo.
Katonda wa bujja. Nze Katonda w'obujja. Bw'oba olaga eri, sapule twekitwala. Omusajja omubbi bamujja ewuwe ewaka kabanga lyezi. Ne bamujja ewuwe ewaka yabadde mu ttooyi. Naye tebamukkiriza na tusanitize. Bamutadde butesi mu piikaavu ba mu State House. Naye omukyayina bwe yawulidde nti ono bamukutte yeesize kiwi yayitiddeko yadduse ng'omuddugavu.
Hey guys, you're watching STV, select for fun.
Well, we do open our second segment of Select News with a story coming on short notice where the spokesperson of the Uganda Police, that's Fred Enanga, did appreciate the Electoral Commission on calling upon all presidential candidates to give them new campaign guidelines and procedures to be followed ahead of the entire remaining campaign season. Well, he actually also did point out very clearly and categorically that the Uganda Police would crack a whip on all presidential candidates that do not follow the issued guidelines by the Electoral Commission. We have the details.
Agenda maaso mu bitte bibiri nti mulimu obubondo bw'abafuzi bw'abannabyabufuzi nga bo basobola okugondera amateeka oba ebiragiro by'ekitongole ekya Electoral Commission, era bano babadde beewala nnyo okuba enkuŋŋaana ez'abantu abasukka mu 200. Tulina n'akabondo akalala kabannabyabufuzi nga bo bakyajeemedde mu nkola ey'obujeemu n'emputtu nti bakyakandaliridde mu kukuba kampeyini zino mu nkola eyaabwe. Tulina essuubi kubanga olunaku lwaleero ekitongole ekya Electoral Commission kyasobodde okuyita bakandidate abamu ne ba campaign agents baabwe basobole okuba empawa mu ngeri gye basobola okweyongerayo mu maaso kano akaseera akasigadde. Si bbanga ddene twakatambulako kumpi nnaku nga 8 zokka. So buli Electoral Commission ejja kuvaayo n'eddoboozi esobole okukangavvula ku bannakandidate abakyali abajeemu abakyalina emputtu mu kugenda mu maaso n'okukuba campaign eziri wabweru w'enteekateeka eza Electoral Commission. Tulina abapoliisi 2 abeenyigidde mu bikola eby'ettemu mu kitundu eky'e Busia, era poliisi yaffe y'e Busia yasobodde okubakwata era nakati eri mu kugaziya okunoonyereza ku kufa kw'omusirikale owa military police abadde akola ng'omukuumi wa honorable member wa Busia municipality.
Welcome you back, of course, from that story, and we do move on to more details on Select News tonight. A few weeks back, government declared repossession of leadership of 16 local markets, to mention St. Barikudembe, commonly known as Owino Market, Kiseka Market, among others. Our reporter brings us a report on how far these arrangements have moved so far. For sticking with us, and of course we're going to bring you that story, but of course it will be coming in at a later stage. We do bring you more details on Select News tonight as we move swiftly into our sports segment. A very developing story that did emerge in sports does indicate that South Sudan has beaten Uganda Cranes. Tito Okello Odong was on target as South Sudan registered a memorable 1-0 victory over Uganda Cranes during the AFCON 2021 qualifiers at Nyoyo National Stadium in Nairobi. That's in Kenya today afternoon. Okello, one of the nationalized players on the South Sudan's team, converted a 35th minute penalty. The penalty arose after a foul in the forbidden area by defender Khalid Lualiwa in the goal area. Moments before the goal, Uganda Cranes had lost a man when Khalid Ocho received marching off orders from Benin's FIFA referee Jido Lewis for a professional foul. Well, thank you for sticking with us. Now we do move on to Egypt, that got their bid to qualify for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. That's AFCON back on track following their 1-0 victory against Togo. Mahmoud Atta's 54th minute strike ensured that the Pharaohs pick up maximum points to move level with Group G leaders Comoros on 5 points.
Egypt got their bid to qualify for the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations back on track following the 1-0 victory against Togo at the Cairo International Stadium on Saturday evening. Mahmoud Atia's 54th minute strike ensured that the Pharaohs pick up maximum points to move level with Group G leaders Comoros on 5 points. Togo remained on the bottom of the table with just 1 point from 3 games played. Meanwhile, DRC's hunt for the first victory in these qualifiers continues following another goalless stalemate with Angola at the Stade des Motors in Kinshasa. The draw means that the Christian Nsengi Biembe coached side is now third on Group D table with 3 points, while Angola is on the bottom with 1 point. Tini Rukabwe, STV Select Sports News.
Well, we do move on with more sports news on Select News tonight. Ramos missed 2 penalties as Spain needed a late equalizer from Gerard Moreno to draw 1-1 with Switzerland. Ramos had previously scored 25 penalties in a row, and his accuracy from the Sport Coast Spain, who will now have to beat Germany in Sevilla on Tuesday to reach the Final Four.
Ramos missed 2 penalties as Spain needed a late equalizer from Gerard Moreno to draw a 1-1 with Switzerland in the Nations League. Ramos was making his 177th appearance for Spain to become the most capped European player in history, pulling clear of Italy's Gianluigi Buffon, who has 176. But instead of a celebration in Basel, it was a night to forget for the defender, who saw one spot kick saved by Swiss goalkeeper Jan Sommer, but backed himself up to score a second, only to miss again with a dreadful attempted Panenka. Ramos had previously scored 25 penalties in a row, and his inaccuracy from the Sport Coast Spain, who will now have to beat Germany in Sevilla on Tuesday to reach the Final Four. With Ramos out of position, Brill McDonald raced in behind before pulling a cross back to Freila, who opened up his left foot and squared the ball brilliantly into the far corner. Spain finally found an